Not Just a podcast where we get to know the person behind the job title. I'm your host Amanda, and today we'll be chatting to Dom Price, who is an activator. We chat about the constant changes in the business world, how to acknowledge both sides of yourself, and the importance of asking why. But more importantly, we talk about who he really is outside of his job title. Let's get into it. Dom Price, welcome to the podcast.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on. We've had great banter before these cameras started rolling.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do some,
The outtakes are going to be better than the real thing.
Yeah.
We're going to go really stiff and rigid now.
Yeah, 100%. I know, we're straight down to business now. So this is an interesting chat because we're gonna frame this as not just an activator.
Yeah.
But let's get into this because I feel that you are well-rounded with many different parts of your career, that it's not just one. I wouldn't box you into like one single thing.
Yeah,
and
me and boxes aren't good friends.
No, this is why
I've learned that in my career. Yeah. Whenever someone tries to put me in a box, I find my elbows come out and get quite sharp.
Yeah, right, okay. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about you. Where are you in your career right now?
I'm in a very interesting junction. I don't know if it's lived experience. Me and my wife recently had kids. We have 3-year-old twin boys at home, which brought a whole new dimension to like what is work and what is life.
Yes.
The goal for me right now is twofold. One is like a rounded portfolio.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I've almost felt selfish sometimes saying this is, I want to be a good husband and a good dad. I also want to have a thriving career and be a good friend to many people.
Yes.
Right? I'm really social. And I'm like, I don't want to cherry pick. I don't want to pick any of those. I actually need a balance of all of them. And actually what I've worked out recently is how they feed each other. So for me to be a good dad, as an example, right, 3-year-old boys at home, for me to be a good dad, I also need to be a good friend to other people. Because going out and socializing fills my cup so that when I am home, I'm like, oh, I can be a good dad. If I just did the kids 24/7, I don't think I'd be a good dad, right? I don't think they'd love me around. Like that wouldn't fill my cup enough or give me that balance. So that balance is something I've been constantly in search of. But the second part of it that we talked about before off camera and is really sort of getting me to focus right now is in the work aspect, what work really fills my tank. And what I realized in the last few years, and particularly the last few months, is this activation, this enablement of others. I've spent a lot of time giving people advice or recommendations or suggestions. And then watching them sometimes do well and sometimes labor with them. I'm like, that doesn't fill my mojo cup anymore. What fills my mojo cup is someone going, here's this nightmare, thankless, complex, gnarly task. I'm like, bring it on. Let's do it together. Right? And when I then see them doing it without me and I get to parachute out, I'm like, job done.
Yeah, right.
So my success is seeing them not need me anymore, which is this weird liberating feeling of going, I'm not the crutch you're reliant on. In fact, I need to make you independently successful.
And do you think that there's a time limit on that?
No, because I think one of the places I learned that is with kids. When my kids were babies, you hold them and you nurture them and you are their everything. And then suddenly they get this little string of independence. You're like, damn, right? It happens really quickly and you're like, oh, my job here, like as a protector, as a parent, I can't wrap you in cotton wool, but I can equip you with the skills and the capabilities and behaviors to survive in the world, but I need to let you go and do that. And then I'm like, maybe that's the same in work. Maybe that's what I should have been doing all my life, right? I think there's probably, let's call it an ego thing, right? There's an ego or self-preservation. When you're helping someone and they become reliant on you, it feels good because they're reliant on you. But I'm like, I've not really helped you if you're reliant on me. But I don't know if that's like a maturity thing or maybe the ego I don't know, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's just this realization of going, if my job is to enable and amplify and co-design with you, but you've got carriage of this in the long term, I turn up very differently than if I think you're reliant on my IP or knowledge.
Well, I think that that's what makes you a great leader and what makes others great leaders is that it's not like reliant on the person. You're giving them the skills to go out and be independent.
Which is probably, I think, really where I first learned it from is I've been super fortunate in my career to work with some phenomenal leaders. But if I think about the ones in the top like 2 or 3 that have had lasting impacts on my career, it wasn't the amount of time I spent with them.
Yeah.
It was the way they set up an environment or conditions for me to thrive.
Yes.
And if I'm really honest, I probably took them for granted at the time because it didn't seem like a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's only years later when you look back and you're like, that moment when that seed got planted, that made the difference. I'm feeling it now years later, but that was the moment.
Yeah. Oh, the beauty of hindsight.
Oh, God.
Oh. Now let's take it back. Before you are the man that you are today, who were you when you were in your early 20s?
Oh,
let's
God.
talk about it.
It's hilarious to reflect. I mean, I grew up a very wonderful but basic upbringing in the north of England, right? You know, 2 older sisters, younger sister, just a normal, like, Northern English family where you sit down and watch TV and eat dinner together and you play out in the street and, you know, we weren't flush with toys or anything. And so I never thought I had a basic upbringing. I just had my upbringing. Yeah. It's only, you know, later in life when you see what other people had, you're like, oh, wow. Yeah. Other people had it fancy. And you're like, I have no regrets or resentment over that. I actually liked the simplicity, the low fidelity nature, the very human nature of my upbringing. But as a 20-year-old, it was kind of a massive pivot point because I was the first member of my family to go to university. So I remember packing up the car with my stepdad driving. He was only 36 miles away. I think my mum thought I was moving halfway across the world. I saved that for a few years later. But that move to university was this first sort of branch, right, where you're like, okay, there's something other than the family home and the family unit and the village and the town and where everyone knows each other and you go to the same shop. That routine suddenly broke and you're like, there's other stuff out there. There's more. Yes. And that's when I think in my early 20s specifically, that's where I really caught the curiosity bug. Yeah. Okay. The just looking over the fence, like having a peek around, and again, not out of not a desire to be like anyone else, and not a sense of loss. It wasn't like I missed out on anything in my childhood. Yes. It was just looking around and going, I might want to try that. Yeah. And I might want to try that. Just that exploratory, curious gene really kicked in. And that evolved me then going from university, which was 36 miles away, moving to London and starting my work down there. Yeah. And then a few years later, getting on a plane with a one-way ticket to Australia. And I'd never been to Australia before in my life. So I was by myself, sat there on the flight. And I'm like, wow, I'm all alone. I've got all my possessions in a bag. Yeah. I'm on a one-way flight to Australia, and I don't know anyone there. Yeah.
And why Australia?
It's a really weird decision-making process. Okay. So I went for my first ever sushi meal. A chap called Ravi Joshi was my manager at the time. Ravi took me for sushi. I'd never had sushi. I was like, wow, this is amazing. He didn't explain to me that sushi train you paid by the plate. So as a Northern Englishman, I thought it was like a buffet. Okay, and I'm a big, right, I'm just wolfing. I'm like, I'll try that. I ate so much. And I could see him start to get a little bit pale. It was only afterwards that I realised you paid by the plate. And I was rinsing him for everything he was worth. Anyway, he was my kind of mentor at the time. Yeah. And he said to me, he said, look, I get the sense that you might be looking to move on, right? And at the time, I was interviewing in a few other places. I was looking to leave Deloitte, not for any good reason. Just I'd been there for 3 years and wasn't loving it, so why not? Yeah. And getting some quite lucrative offers, to be fair. And he said, look, he said, I'll be honest with you. I think if you went for the money, that would be a mistake. I think you'd go into a job you don't like. You'd get paid a bit more. But trust me, a few months down the line, that's not going to get you out of bed. Yes. I was like, okay. Yeah. And so he said to me, have you thought about doing the same job as you're doing here, but doing it in a different environment? And I hadn't. And I was like, no. And he's like, well, do you want to explore that? I was like, sure. Like, why not? I was 24, 25. I'm like, yeah whatever. Yeah. He was worldly wise. Anyway, that was the Friday. On the Monday, he came into the office and he said, I've made some calls on the weekend, New York or Sydney. And I was like, are we going on holiday? I don't like you that much. You're not my type. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, your job that you do right here, right now, exists in New York and it exists in Sydney, and you can step into either of those right now. So exact same job, just different location. Yeah. So the very simple instinctive maths that I did, I'm not a great pros and cons list. I'm not one of those people. My instinct was, I was in London, New York would be too much like London.
Yeah, okay.
So why not try the other thing? Yes, right? So the department I was in London was 450 people. That exact same department in Sydney was 23 when I started. Wow. I was like, brilliant. Oh my gosh. Right? Now, it's funny because a lot of my mates in London were like, oh my God, like, we're working on these giant clients. And like, if you're a 23-person department, it'll be tiny. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm one of 24, I think I'll learn more than being one of 450.
Absolutely.
So it's not got the grandeur, it's not got the brand, and it's not got the appeal, and you've not got the big names on your resume, but I'm going to enjoy it more. And I'm 45. Like, and I'm like, they speak English, I think, in Australia. I'd seen Home and Away Neighbours, so I'd done some extensive research.
Yeah.
I told all my friends, I'm like, you won't recognise me when I come back to the UK. I'm going to have long hair. That didn't work out. I'll be surfing. Didn't do that. Hurt the arms. Tanned. Yeah, not so much. Burn a lot. But the idea was I was only coming out here for a year and a half.
Yeah, wow.
I'm like, I'll play with it. I'll taste it. Do a year and a half. And I had a plan to move back to the UK.
Yeah.
But once I got here again, part of that exploration was going, I think I could do a bit longer. I think I could learn more.
Yeah, wow.
And that was 23 years ago.
Oh my gosh. And how did you break the news to your family? Were they sad to see you go? Were they excited?
Look, there's several phases I find to breaking news.
Okay.
One is the initial news of I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't too hard because I've always had the gift of narrative, right? So the narrative around opportunities and growth. I'm only there for a year and a half. Blah, blah, blah. I'm in London. I don't see you that often anyway.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm only missing one Easter, one Christmas. I'll be back before you know it, right? The harder one was with my grandparents. It was fascinating because my nana especially was just that old school. What's wrong with the village? Like, we've all grown up in the village. Everyone else is in the village. What is it about you that makes you think either you need to go away or what is there outside the village that you could ever want?
Yeah.
And I'm like, turns out there's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I want to be the one to break that to you in your late 80s. There is more than the village out there.
Yeah.
So that bit was hard. The rest of the narrative was fine. What was harder, I think, was the drip feeding of excitement once I got here. Because it as a narrative, it's a lot easier to go somewhere and go, I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to go somewhere and go, I really like it.
Yeah.
I feel really comfortable here. I feel like I can be me.
Yeah.
So actually the H word, which I dropped by accident once, I will never forget this phone call. So this is back in the day, you used to have to buy a calling card from the supermarket and you called a like 500-digit number on the payphone to ring home, right? Before FaceTime and all that jazz. And I remember calling, and I'd been on a trip to the UK, and I got back here and chatted to my mum, and she's like, how does it feel, back in your own bed? I was like, you know what it's like? It's so nice to get home. Yeah. And I just said it nonchalantly. I didn't even think. Yeah. And I heard the tears.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what? And that's not your home. This is your home. I'm like, oh. And because there was no one day where Australia became home. Like I
just felt like it.
Permanent residency, citizenship, jobs, getting married, kids, like each of those are milestone moments. But there's no one day where I'm like, that's the day. It just kind of evolved over time where it became more normal to be here than it was there. More of my life seemed to be here. Yes. And that just tipped over. And I don't know the day that it happened, but it's definitely now as me and my wife were fortunate enough last year to renovate a home. It's where we will raise our twin boys. We got married here last year in Australia. So it is definitely a home now, but it's been strange to see that evolution, but also how much of our she's English as well, how much of our shared history and heritage is in the UK. But now we have our own seedlings, right, in Australia who are sometimes quite English and sometimes quite Aussie. Like this weird hybrid.
Yeah, right. And which part of England is she from?
She's from Birmingham.
Oh, Brummie.
Yeah, proper Brummie. She lied when we first started dating. She claimed to be from Oxford.
Oh.
But as she moved in a few months later and I found the passport and I'm like, it says Wolverhampton. That is definitely not Oxford. I've forgiven her. We got married, we've had kids, I've moved on.
Yeah.
But she still lied early on when we dated. Of all the lies, that's one I can forgive. She's not got an accent, so I don't mind.
That's fine. So, who are you when nobody's watching?
It's a fascinating question, actually. I actually spoke to my wife about it. We've spoken about it a few times we've been together for 5 years and married for 1. She has 2 observations that she makes, because I like her observations on this because she sees me the most, right? One observation she has is, you're the exact same. Yeah. Right? And so she found it quite amusing, either when she'd see me present on stage or running workshops, and then when we have people over for dinner and when we don't have people over for dinner, she's like, you're still the same, ridiculously high energy, pain in the arse, slightly mental. She's a qualified nutritionist. She's like, I don't know if I can really diagnose you, but probably adult ADHD. She's like, your brain just works differently, and the energy that I have. I don't drink coffee. I've never taken drugs in my life. I'm just naturally effervescent, right? It's just the way I am, right? I've I don't know if I was born this way or just nurtured this way. So I would say 90% of the time, that is the true, authentic, genuine version of me. What most people don't see is the downtime I need to recharge. It's funny though, because when they do, the minute I go like normal quiet, which is like anyone else who's normal, everyone's like, are you okay? What's wrong? And I'm like, I just bugger off. Just give me a minute. Like, so I do still, just like everyone does, I need those moments to anchor, dock at mothership, just like recharge. I like to formulate thoughts in my head sometimes first before I say them out loud. My default is just to think out loud, but sometimes I flip that, right? I've got my alternate style. She sees that a lot more. And the other part that I would say she sees and our closest friends in our inner circle see is the dad version of me, right? I'm the cook at home, so I love I've got a big kitchen island. I love getting ingredients, cooking food, providing for the family, being just stupid and giggly and playing with the kids. That's not something that I necessarily share or other people see a lot. They see me on stage and they think I'm always in that zone. But there's nothing better for me than a bit of rough and tumble with the kids and getting on the floor and having a grapple with them and just being silly, right? And the playfulness that they have is really helping me as someone in his late 40s go, what's the role of play in my life? Like, when you see the innocence, the creativity and the imagination of kids when they play, you're like, damn, I think adults could do with a bit more of that.
100%. Do you think that you're an extrovert or an introvert? Just like when you obviously mentioned that you need to like recharge and be silent and quiet.
I am whenever I do any of those stupid personality tests, which I despise, but I still do them occasionally, they regularly tell me I'm in the 99th percentile for extroversion. I think I'm an interesting type of extrovert. There's specific scenarios where I am nth percentile, where I'm just like on stage running a workshop. I did one yesterday with a rugby league team with their entire staff, and I was just when I finished it, they were knackered, and I was like, let's go again. Right? I'd put all my energy into it. I'd got so much from it. I was full of beans, right? So I know those environments. What I hate is like networking drinks. Can't do it. So if you give me 3 people that I'm fascinated by and I can have a deep conversation, I'll be there for hours. Give me 300 people in chit chat, I'm bored. I'll go and hide in the corner. And that's where people get confused. They're like, oh, you were so confident and extroverted on stage. And I'm like, oh, no. I get energy from that and seeing your response. But mindless chit chat, I ain't got time for it. Boring. So I will seek out, normally when I do events, I will seek out like, who do I know that's going to be in the audience that's interesting, that's got a different angle or different view on it? I'll seek them out and I'm like, can we get a drink and can we stand in the corner and can we give like angry bitch face so no one approaches us? Because if I can just have a conversation with you and hang out,
angry bitch face right now.
Right?
Yeah, okay, great.
Like there's lots of ways of just portraying. I'm busy right now, right? The frown goes a long way or a stern look. But I'm like, if everyone else can just bugger off and I can have a high fidelity conversation with you, then I'm in. I'm in for that because that's me learning. A general chit chat, I'm like, I don't like it.
Fair.
So I would say definitely extroverted, but I have my moment. I've just become aware of, whilst I get most of my energy from that, I still need that kind of downtime. I think everyone oscillates to some extent. And if you're extroverted and you're always trying to be up, I think you're just going to burn out. Right? So I've become over time more aware of the oscillation. And when I feel that oscillation down, I might go with it.
Yes, true. And do you think that like being fully yourself at work helps you in the long run?
I think fully is an interesting word. I think I spouted a lot of BS about that in my time. You know, you have to be your full, true, authentic self. And then I'm like, do we? I think there's degrees.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So I don't know whether it's like situational leadership or I like to think about it probably more as like compromise. So I'm energetic, free-flowing conversation, and sometimes the odd F-bomb might slip out my mouth, right? If I'm in a room with people and that results in organ rejection and they stop listening to me, I've failed. So I've scored 10 out of 10 on being my full authentic self, but I've scored 0 out of 10 on the outcome I want to achieve. So what I've been trying to be more aware of over time is how can I adapt my style, still be me. So me is my principles, my values, my views on the world. I'm not going to change those for an audience.
No.
But I will adapt how I present them because my job is to get them to hear. So again, in my career, probably over the last 10 or 12 years, I've worked a lot with financial institutions, banks, telcos, insurance, government agencies that need help to drive change. If I dive in there with bulldozer version of Dom, they're not going to change. They're going to run a mile. They all, and I remember doing this years ago, probably 5-6 years ago, doing this presentation. And I was watching the room, and whilst I'm talking, I suddenly became aware that half the room had their arms folded. And I'm just looking, and I was like, I don't think you did. When I started.
Yeah, body language is such a thing, right?
So something I've said has made you close up.
Yeah.
So you're not listening now.
Yeah.
I need to ease off the gas a little bit here. Just dial it back, and I could see the arms unfold, and I'd go again, right?
Yeah, right?
So I am literally, like, when I'm presenting to an audience, certainly like execs or senior leaders, I'm adapting up and down.
Yeah.
To try, I want to push them. I don't want to break them.
Yeah.
So what that means is I can't be my full authentic version every time.
Yes.
But what I have to be is authentic and credible.
Yes.
And I have to be authentic to what I believe.
Yeah.
That I don't believe is up for compromise.
Yeah. And that would obviously carry through when you're managing people, when you've got teams. It's not just obviously when you're presenting.
No. I think about it in like all human interactions. And so the weird compliment I got is a couple of years ago. I was doing a briefing for a presentation for a large company with their senior executives. And the team doing the briefing, we got about 5 or 10 minutes in. And this lady on the call, she's like, just like suddenly like sort of shook her head. I was like, yeah, okay. She's like, oh, it's really weird. You sound exactly the same as you do when you're on stage.
Yeah, right.
And I was like,
interesting.
I was like, what does that mean? And she's like, oh, I've watched a few of your videos.
Yeah.
She's like, I've also done a lot of briefings. And normally there's a different version turns up to the briefing.
Yeah.
And then the person goes on stage, the mask comes on
Yes.
and they perform.
So true.
I was like, oh, I'm not a performer.
Yeah.
Like I'm just me. Like take it or leave it. If you don't like it, there's plenty of other people do. So I'm comfortable enough in my own skin.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna change who I am for a paycheck.
No.
And so that authenticity is something that I've now stuck to because I'm like, that's now part of my brand.
Yeah.
It's also way less energy.
Yes.
Like if I had to change who I was,
Oh my God,
I'd be exhausted.
Yes. Not good at
No.
all. No. Now, before the camera started rolling, we started talking about the English Premier League.
Yes.
And you are a Man United fan, and I am a Liverpool fan.
Yep.
And
riding the lows and the highs.
yes,
maybe the lows.
A lot of lows for us, so it is what it is. But my next question is, what is something that you're deeply passionate about? Is it football related or is it?
No, it's, there's the two hardest questions I get asked. That's one of them.
Yeah.
I don't get asked it enough. It's a really good question. The other one is, someone asked me ages ago what my hobbies were.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got a hobby?
Well, I do piano.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you have a hobby?
I have a hobby. But
I haven't.
Well, before I was doing this, I was in the music industry. So, like, I feel that music's been around my life.
So I'm not.
Time.
I'm not a musician, and I'm not an artist. I don't paint.
Yeah.
I don't perform. It's weird. Like, someone asked me years ago, and I was like, oh, do I need a hobby? And they're like,
do you feel the pressure to have a hobby?
I did.
Because I think that there is a bit of a pressure on people to have hobbies.
There is an expectation.
Yes.
And I think the pandemic raised the expectation because high achievers were like, well, I've got a bit of downtime. I'm going to learn to play the piano. I'm like, okay. I'm not. So I was like, and then my wife was like, was it cooking? I was like, well, it's not really a hobby.
Yeah.
I enjoy cooking. I enjoy the distraction and the creativity of cooking.
Yeah.
And I do it a lot. Like,
yeah.
Our kids just eat all the time. And me and my wife eat a lot. We have friends over. Like, so I would say socializing. Like I'm in my element when we have people over at our house and I'm cooking.
Yeah.
And we've got the banter going.
Yeah.
The booze is flowing. Time just passes by.
Yeah.
And you're having good, genuine conversation with people that you give a shit about, right? That's me in my element.
Yeah.
So I'd like, if that could be a hobby or a passion, maybe that. I think there's I don't know if passion's the right word to describe this. Passion or expectation. One of the things that me and my wife have talked about a lot is since the kids came along, I felt a new weight of expectation that I think I put on myself. Maybe society did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Around like being a dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it's quite like Neanderthal. I'm like, must provide, must put roof overhead. She's like, we have a roof over our head. I was like, I know, but I feel the pressure to maintain the roof. Yes. Not me personally maintain the roof, but I must always have meaningful work because I must provide food, right? And it's this weird caveman thing just like tipped over.
I think that just means that you're a great partner and a great dad.
I'll take that. But it's weird because it's not, again, that doesn't tip over into passion.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not that fire in your belly excitement. It's more of a hygiene need, like a societal need. So it's weird. I don't know that I have anything that I'm so passionate about that it stands out. Like I love spending time with my wife. I love going on adventures. I love experiences. I love all those things, and I get to do them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Maybe I just take them for granted because I think we've built quite a balanced lifestyle that we enjoy. So there's not that, here's this passion thing that I really have to do.
Yeah, right. Well, then this leads me to my next question, which is kind of, I guess, in the passion realm. If you could be known for something completely different, what would you be known for?
It's one of two things. This is really easy. It's one of two things.
Okay, yeah.
I still maintain the dream. As a 47-year-old man, I'm either playing football for Man United
I thought you were going to say this.
and England, right? So that was one. I might have to admit that nature has let me by there, both on my capability front and my age front, not my confidence front. But in my mind, I could still play football. It's not going to happen. The second one is I want to host a TV show.
Yeah, okay.
I have done for years. I've already decided what it is. It's a business version of Graham Norton.
Yeah, okay.
Right. I know the guests, right?
Yes.
I know the format.
Yeah.
I know the style. It's conversational.
Yeah.
A little bit, not like people launching their books like on Graham Norton, a little bit more nitty gritty.
Yeah, cool.
But what I actually weirdly want to do is to make, I think business TV or business content is separated from all other content, and I don't know why, because it's such a part of everyone's life. I would like to make business content more accessible to the general population.
Yeah.
To make them more curious about how businesses work, how they invest, how they save, right, how they spend.
Yeah.
Right. And that is, I don't know if there'd be an audience, but it would be a very entertaining show.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Did we just get the scoop on maybe what's to come?
You never know.
Well, I feel like as well, Man United, you could become a board member. There's still options for both of those things, you know.
I mean, it's pulling the kit on though. That way, if you get me in the boardroom, I'm probably too close to the changing room, and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because I'm wise. What I lack in pace in the legs, I make up for in pace in the mind. It's not true. I don't, but in my mind, I do.
Well, I like both of those. Very cool. What's a lesson you've learned outside of work that has actually made you better at your job?
Oh God, there's so many. I think there's a few that probably stand out. One, my wife's a nutritionist, and when we first started dating, I thought what I did and what she did were completely orthogonal of each other, like no relation at all. The more I've become curious and interested in nutrition and wellness, I'm like, oh my God, like what an overlap to the business world.
Yes.
And even just the way she thinks about diagnosing before solving. Right, even the way she thinks about the more holistic form of medicine. It's not tablets or supplements or exercise or diet or it's and.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, why do you feel that? Why do you feel there's the overlap?
There's so many facets of it that I look at and go, it is still irrelevant in many forms. But there's elements of that business model. I'm like, God, if businesses thought more, if we thought more about diagnosing before we solved, and truly understanding, if we thought more about a trivial example, but when she's working with a client and they'll say, I want to lose weight. And she's like, so she classes herself as a lifestyle nutritionist. She's like, why do you want to lose weight? I've got grandkids. I want to play with them more. Okay. So the goal's not weight.
Yeah.
The goal is you want energy to play with the grandkids.
Yeah.
So let's get you there.
Yes.
It might be weight. It might not be. Yeah. There's many other facets to it. And then the way she thinks about trade-offs. Yeah. So you maybe you do want to lose weight. Okay, are you willing to give up bread and booze and chocolate? No, I love them. They make me happy. Right.
Yeah.
So what is a weight we can get you to?
Yes.
Where you still get to eat and indulge in all the things that make you happy. Because if you're just eating a leaf every day and you're the perfect weight but you're miserable, no point, right? So the dynamic nature of it, the trade-off nature, but also the highly personalized nature. So when you learn nutrition, you learn about mass population. When you practice nutrition, every patient's different. Yes. Right? When you learn business, you learn generic case studies.
Yes.
I go into any business in Australia, if I don't listen and learn for their nuance, for their unique elements, I will 100% recommend something that's irrelevant.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So again, completely different businesses, but you're like, way more in common than you'd ever imagine.
But I also think as well, you said something really important, and it was asking the why.
Asking the why.
And I don't know if a lot of people, well, you would hope that a lot of leaders are asking the why before they're just jumping in, but they're probably, they might not be.
I would say there's a lot of senior leaders that I'm working with at the minute, coaching, mentoring, helping in various different ways. I think the majority of senior leaders that I'm working with are obsessed with what, but not why. They've got carried away with, I must chase this latest wave, this latest fad. Yes. So here's what I need to be proficient in AI. I need to do that. I'm like, why? Yeah. Like, well, because everyone else is not a good enough reason. Yeah. Like, what is it for you that makes this a differentiator? Why should you invest your time and energy here?
Do you think that it's because we're being fed so much information so quickly? Do you think that is perhaps why?
A little bit. There's you're 100% right. There is. I think one facet is, majority of leaders I'm working with are massively overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information and data, right? What they crave, I've got this phrase that I've been using, which is leaders crave context. What they have right now is content. There's more and more content. And they're like, oh, it's like whack-a-mole. And they're like, I'm craving context. What's the decision I should make? What's the team I should work with? Which project do I need to go and intervene on? They want that. And what they've got is a blog and a document and a report and a summary and a video, and they're like, well, and they consume it all, and they go, now what?
And the attention span, right? Because the attention span is what, like 2 seconds now compared to what it was in the 90s, which I think was like 2 minutes. At the same time
as the business expectation is for like immediate results. Right. So there's all these like boards and leadership teams I work with, and they're like, I can't believe we've not got an AI strategy. I'm like, to be fair, you didn't even use the letters this time last year. So I can believe you haven't got one, because last year you built a 3 and 5 year strategy that didn't include AI because it didn't exist. So give yourself the good grace of forgiveness, right? Build one now, but don't be kicking yourself for not having one when you didn't need one. But now you know where you are. What would that look like for you right now? That's worthwhile. That's worth putting the energy into, not critiquing why you haven't got one. And so the desire for like immediate results, and then there's just a sentiment in market right now that just the sheer amount of change is causing instability, which it is, right? I think if I think about the career, the environment I've been in my career, there was like culture change in the late 90s, early noughties. There was agile change in the early 2000s, digital transformation in the last 10, 15 years. And it's each time it's been a singular thing. Whereas now the world we're in, the pace of change feels higher, but the things it's impacting, it's impacting talent and recruitment and how you organize and your business model and your customers and your tech stack. And you're like, oh, so if I'm drawing a jigsaw, where's my anchor piece? Where's the bit of the puzzle that's definitely right? And you're like, potentially none of them.
No.
So it's creating a huge amount, quite rightly, of uncertainty. And I think people feel lack of control and lack of agency. So I've got a lot of sympathy and empathy for senior leaders right now. I don't think that there's a lot of them aren't doing it well. I'm not suggesting they're doing great. I just feel for them because the environment's quite harsh.
Do you think the AI bubble is going to burst?
I don't think it'll burst. I think it will level off, right? I think about it more, again, as the oscillation. We always have a hype cycle. The internet, it will solve everything. Right? I was alive in the early noughties. The internet came along. It's going to solve cancer. We've got the internet. We've connected computers together. You're like, how does that? It's going to solve traffic. We'll never have traffic anymore, right? All these absolutely crazy things, and then you're like, okay, it did make some improvements. It also did some weird stuff, right?
And then people were like, computers are going to cause cancer.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to create computers that just live on your body and put radiation through you. So each time we have one of these advancements, the best example is when we had steam warehouses and steam factories, and then the engine got invented, right? When the engine got invented, they basically electrified steam locations, but they didn't redesign them. They just changed the power from steam to electric, and there was no advantage. It was only when the first factories were built, electric first, that they were like, well, now we've got this thing called electric that's there 24/7, we can redesign what a factory looks like. It's the same for now. What we're taking is 200-year-old businesses and we're whacking AI in there, trying to fudge it in gaps and holes and going, nothing changed. You're like, no, because it didn't. The fundamental system hasn't changed. when you look at, there's a few businesses I work with that class themselves as like AI native.
Oh yeah.
What
does that mean?
They've built themselves with AI at the core of what they do.
Okay.
But that means that their culture is AI native, their org structure, who they hire, the talent, the skills. They've started with AI in mind.
Yeah.
They had no history or heritage to undo.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
If a brand new technology comes along and your start point is a blank piece of paper, you will run 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
New tech comes along and you've got 200 years of history to unravel. It's going to take a while.
Yes,
right? You're basically trying to get the Titanic to turn and dance in circles, right? It's not going to happen. So there's this weird moment of the hype's kicked in. We're not getting the benefit of the hype across the market.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's about to come off.
Yeah.
It won't. What we're desperate for is meaningful use cases that impact our lives.
Yeah.
And there's just not enough of them yet.
Yeah. Do you feel like any organization is doing it really well that you've seen?
I wish I had more examples than the one that I have.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I have one example.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's a leader by the name of Dave Hyman that I've been working with for a few years. A company called Lendy Group.
Yeah.
He did a cultural thing. He's a firm believer that AI isn't a technology change, it's a human system change.
Yeah, okay.
So his first approach was, he was CEO,
Yeah.
he removed himself as CEO, seconded himself and a SWAT team to a 12-week project to build an AI version of Lendy.
Yeah, wow. Okay. And it was successful?
It's launched.
Yeah, wow. That's
So
really cool.
AI native, how do we who do we need to partner with?
Yeah.
Who needs to be in the room? But he seconded himself because he's like, I can't give this to anyone else. This is fundamental change to how we operate as a business. It impacts customers and our operating model and our business model. It impacts everything.
Yeah.
And I'm the CEO, so
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Right, so he put himself in. But they had already built cultural norms around experimentation and innovation and customer insights and how they deploy, how they learn. They'd already built that muscle, human muscle. So when AI came along, it was natural for them.
Yeah.
So I look at them and how they're leading in that part of their field and taking market share and doing brilliantly because of it. But I often say to Dave that he is somewhat, maybe not ignorant, but maybe he doesn't acknowledge the role that the cultural norms that him and the team built, that those foundations are what they built the AI business on.
Yes.
Without those foundations, that business would not be anywhere near as good.
Yeah.
So there's a learning curve that I've been on, a few others have been on, that it's about the marriage of your technology system with your human system. And what most people are doing right now with AI is they're upgrading their technical system, but they're not upgrading their human system of how they work. So they don't get the benefit.
No, true. And do you think that was, I mean, for any leader to kind of step away from that role to take on a project that perhaps they might not have been too sure about and it's new, that must have been quite scary and challenging, but also exciting in one way as well.
So exciting. There's two phrases that I know Dave used in there that I think are absolute gold as a leader, right? It's the CEO of a sizable business. The first phrase was, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the second phrase was, I think we can work it out together.
Yeah, I like both
right?
of those.
So you get a room full of people and partners that you're like, hey, let's be honest, none of us know because none of us have done this before.
Yeah.
This is a net new rodeo.
Yeah.
So if we BS each other in thinking we know, we're going to make some really stupid decisions.
Yeah.
If we're honest and vulnerable and go, we don't know, good.
Good.
Can we work it out together? Yeah, we back each other.
Yeah.
Like we all bring a different dynamic, but we back each other.
Yeah.
He regularly shares the process that they went through in that project and the outcomes they achieved.
Yeah.
So he's out there sharing that story now with others to go, hey, I want to pay it forward to the market, to the industry.
Yeah.
And you can do the same as us. What he's realized in telling that story is how much of a role those cultural norms, that human system played in enabling them to go through that change.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Fascinating. Others can do it. The real fascinating thing at a kind of macro level that's happening right now is the biggest enterprise businesses in the world that I work with are the slowest to adapt to change. What's fascinating is there's a whole of mid-tier companies that can move a lot faster.
Yeah.
Essentially, what I think we'll reflect on in 3 or 4 years is whatever role AI played, it rewrote the leaderboard.
Yeah.
The leaderboard is getting rewritten right now.
So true.
And it's exciting.
It is a bit
because the ones that are like, bring it on, right? They're going to get
really.
just a different learning curve. They're going to adapt faster. The ones that are like, we need a 36-month plan to get through this. I'm like, I can't tell you what it looks like in 3 years.
Yeah, no.
So don't build a 36-month plan.
Now it's moving so fast.
Yeah.
What's something that people would be surprised to learn about in your day-to-day?
Surprise. I mean, I'm so open. Surprises.
Yeah.
I'm a really messy person. That's very true. Probably in the inner circle, nothing. In the outer circle, I think people would be surprised at how much cooking I do.
Yeah, okay.
Cooking's just become such an important part of my life.
Yeah.
I love it. Like,
what's your favourite dish to make?
This really frustrates my wife, but I've never followed a recipe, so I just make stuff up as I go along.
Okay, great.
Why that annoys me is every now and then she'll taste something and go, "Can you make that again?" I'm like, "Yeah, maybe, kind of, something similar."
Oh my gosh.
Drives her insane. Or she's like, "That tastes healthy. I should write down that recipe. I can use it in my nutritional business." And I'm like,
I don't know what it was.
Roughly. But I genuinely find it's like a recharge for me.
Yeah,
the creativity side, but that just it's almost like a TV show in itself where my wife will like, "Here's what we've got in the fridge and the freezer," and I'm like, "That's okay. I can throw some together." And she's like, "Well," I'm like, "I'll work it out," and I work something out, and then we sit there and she's like, "What the how the?" And I'm like, "Ah." So I love that the freedom, the liberation, the challenge, and I actually where I get a kick from it is seeing other people eat my food and enjoy it. I'm like, yeah. Now, it might take me hours to cook and make a mess. It might take me hours to make and then minutes to be eaten. Which some find demoralizing. But no, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so good. And do you think that that's kind of like you said just then, I just work it out?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's been kind of your mindset in business as well?
It's been my mantra for a lot of time. And I've become more aware of how it really pisses some people off.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I don't get overly focused on needing a plan. I need direction.
Yeah, okay.
And I need to know what resources I have.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll work it out. So what it means is I find other people that work that way really appealing.
Yeah.
So when I find people that go, "Yeah, I don't know, but I reckon we can work it out," I'm like, in, right?
Yeah.
I'm in something, I'm like, we can. Like, we're backing ourselves.
Yeah.
Not because we have the answer, but if we haven't, we can access the network and find people who are... I've worked a lot with very strong planners and procedural people in my time, and they find me infuriating. There was a manager I had years and years ago who said that I was a maverick, that I flew by the seat of my pants, I made stuff up as I went along, and I was a danger in business.
Oh my God, Dom!
I was like, wow, tell me what you really feel.
Wow.
Now, the interesting thing was he was ex-military and supply chain. So he was like, you must have a plan. Yeah, and I'm like, I was working in a more creative side of a business. I'm like, we can spend a lot of time building a plan. It still won't happen. So I'll invest a bit of time in a rough plan, directionally where we're going, what does success look like, and then I'll start.
Yeah, and get it done.
Right? So what I've learned in my career is everyone wants to start like a new initiative, new program. Everyone wants to start, but everyone has a different bar of how much information they need to start.
Yes.
Mine's a really low bar.
Yeah, right. Because a lot of people say you need to have a business plan and you need to do this and you need to do step 1 to 5 first.
So I had an interesting situation 10, 15 years ago in an organisation where a business case that a colleague and I were working on took 9 months to get approved.
Yeah, wow.
But the final version of the business case compared to the first version wasn't that different. Yeah. And when we did a reflection, this did not go down well. And part of me regrets saying it, but I'm like, we should do a retrospective. We should reflect. And one of the people in this retrospective was like, we're no better off. We're 9 months behind. Like if we'd rubber stamped the first version, we would have started 9 months earlier with an imperfect plan. Still probably got close to where we got to, but be 9 months earlier. Yeah,
and you'll just learn on the go.
Just learn on the go. So I get it. It's not that there's a right or a wrong. I've worked a lot with people who have the measure twice, cut once philosophy, and I'm like, on really important things, I'm with you. Yes. If it's a one-way door and there's no way back through the door, I'll measure twice. Yes. Most of the decisions I make on a daily basis are two-way doors. If I don't like what's the other side, you just pay a toll and come back through the door. Fair. So I optimize for speed of learning, not speed of knowing. Yeah, okay. I've acknowledged that there's a lot of people in the world that are knowers, and I'm a bit more of a seeker. Yeah. What it means is, as a seeker, I have to be willing to put up with waste. Yeah. Because occasionally I'll go down a rabbit hole, go and play with something, and I'm like, there's nothing there. Yeah. That's where a planner, they're like, if you'd built a plan, you would have known that. I'm like, no, I had a play. Yeah. So my approach is playfulness. Yeah. I'll go and play at something. If it works, I'll do more of it. If it doesn't, okay. What's been your biggest learning of opening a door and going, no,
That's not right.
So many I've walked through and I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Normally it's not that it's been a mistake, it's that I've walked through the door in the wrong state of mind.
Yeah, okay. And what state of mind?
Let me give you an example. When I first joined Atlassian, working a lot with engineers, quite introverted, very high Q, super smart, very passionate, diligent, detail-oriented people. And I'd walk into a workshop, literally walk through the door, woohoo, Dice Dom Shower, pens, whiteboards, and they're like, what the, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't that I walked through the wrong door, I walked through with the wrong mindset.
Yeah,
that my approach was the answer.
Yeah.
And actually it's like, okay, stop. What's the outcome we're trying to achieve here? And how do I best navigate and curate and choreograph the people I have here to get there?
Yes.
And that is sod all about me and a lot about them.
Yeah.
Right?
The situational leadership that you mentioned. Yeah.
But that dent to the ego is not cost me, but there's a few times I've walked through the door and gone, I don't understand why we can't just do it this way. It's like, well, we can't. Yeah. So what's plan B?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
The quicker I can get to plan B, the better we make progress.
Yeah.
If I fixate on plan A because I'm right, we're doomed.
Yeah, fair. Did you ever have a moment when you moved out to Australia when you were in your 20s that you were like, this is not the right move for me? Or did you always know that it was the right move?
Neither.
Okay.
I didn't need to know.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
It's a funny one, right? There's just these, I don't know if it's like wiring in my head or stuff. Like, there's some things in life where I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure maybe on reflection, maybe I'm just being convenient with my memory, but I'm sure there were days where I woke up lonely, wondering what I was doing. I've moved away from friends, family, all the things that I know. And other days where I'm like, how exciting is this opportunity?
Yeah.
Both of those things are true.
Yeah.
So it's this really weird, it's happened so many times in my life and my career. When I finished it at Atlassian earlier this year, I had a stage where I'm like, well, I'm not working now and I feel like I've lost my identity and I'm lonely. So you could take that, you're like, oh, I think Dom's having a dark day. That same truth is, wow, I'm unshackled. Here's the opportunities.
Yeah.
I can go and reinvent myself. I can do what I want.
True.
Both of those things can be true, and both of those things are true.
Yeah.
I think the mistake we sometimes make with our narrative is picking one of them that we want to be true.
Yeah, so true.
And we want to live that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like when someone moves on for the job. Oh, it's great. It's serendipity. Perfect timing. You're like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Admit that you're also angry or lost.
Yeah.
So I remember chatting to friends after I'd finished it at last, and they're like, must be great. How are you finding it? I'm like, half it's amazing, half it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful because I've lost part of my identity.
Yeah.
And it's weird and it's challenging and confronting and it's super exciting. Because I'm getting to spend more time with the kids and I'm getting to do things that I couldn't do when I was there, and that's exciting. And it's horrible. And people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's both. Like, be okay holding opposing views in your head at the same time.
But people want to put it in a box.
Yeah, you can be nervous and excited.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
I remember like speaking to somebody who'd been made redundant, and there was a couple of us in the conversation, and we were like, oh, you all right? Like, you know, really sad. And then somebody else, I think it was like, I can't remember who now, but they were like, oh, this is so exciting for you. And the person who'd been made redundant was like, yeah, it is. I haven't thought of it like that. Like I've kind of been put in this box where this is terrible and
so
blah, blah, blah.
that reframe is a classic call out. I do it a lot with leaders where if they're fixating on one side of a coin, if I can get them to reframe to the other side, I don't want them to change to the other side. Yeah. I want them to acknowledge there's two sides. Yeah. That's all I want them to do. Yes. Right? Like, I've got a promotion. Wow. You must be like, congratulations, huge achievement. You must be crapping yourself. Yeah. You've never done this role. Yeah. You're highly likely to fail. And they're like, what? You said congratulations? No, good on you. You've been acknowledged for your historical success. That bears no resemblance to your future success. You're screwed. Right? Like, I need you to hold both of those true at the same time. Yeah. And then you've got a chance of thriving and succeeding. So if you over-index on one over the other, you're probably going to fail. Yeah. It also makes it so real, right? It just makes you a real person. Yeah. So this leads me to my last question. What is your hidden talent? Well, not cooking, because I've revealed that. Yeah. I have two. Okay. And they're exceptional. Let's just be honest. Great. They are not recognised globally, but I think they'll be very much in demand in my near future. One is the sheer repertoire of animal noises that I can do. Yep, great. Can you give us an example? I won't give you the repertoire. I'll give you the one that I think is the standout. Okay, that really just throws a lot of people. I'll do it. You can guess what it is. Okay. Everyone at home can guess. Okay, you ready? Right. Dolphin. A dolphin. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. Very
Excellent.
good.
Yeah, quite. I do a full repertoire, but
Yeah.
animal kids love them. Dinner pies love them.
Disney might hire you soon to do, some.
If Man United and the TV show doesn't work out,
Well, there you go.
voiceovers. Imagine that. What a kick. And then the second one, I don't know how or where this came out. I can whistle with every finger on my hand.
Okay.
It's a very Northern English. I can wolf whistle with and really loud. So like every now and then
one of those people
someone's
at
trying
the
to like
shows.
get a room or
Yeah,
like there's a hole in a
okay.
noise and then like tapping a glass. No one's listening. I wolf whistle. Everyone stops.
Yeah.
And then people look at me going, "What the?" I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Great.
I think it's like a playground thing growing up as a kid. That's
Okay.
it.
Well, I think that's great. I think those are very cool hidden talents.
I would really appreciate it if someone could recommend me for them on LinkedIn. That would really make my year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we can do
Strategy,
something.
advisory, activation, enablement, wolf whistling.
Yeah, and also animal sounds.
Yeah, muted dolphin noise. Sick dolphin.
So good. Well,
What's your hidden talent?
Well, this is a great question that
not
nobody in
piano.
the chair has actually asked me.
What is it? It's not piano because you've already
No,
said
it's
piano.
not piano. Don't know what it would be. I really need to think about that now. You've really thrown me. I know that I've asked so many people their hidden talents.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really have a hidden talent.
You have. You've just not acknowledged it. You'll find it.
Maybe. Skincare? I really like skincare.
It's not a hidden talent.
That's not really a hidden talent, though.
You're good at asking follow-up questions.
Oh, okay.
That's a skill. Because a lot of people go, here's my question. I'm just going to ask the next one regardless. Versus going, what you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, thank you.
Active
I'll
listening.
take it.
Active listening. That's not, I called out the wrong skill. Active listening is your hidden talent.
I like it. I'll take that. Thank you. I'll put that on my
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
add that. Yeah.
Yeah. Dom Price, thank you so much for joining us. It's been fabulous.
Thanks for
chatting.
having me.
Thanks. Hi guys, I'm Amanda, the host of Not Just A. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you follow and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Don't forget to check us out on social media via the links in the description. If you're liking the content, feel free to drop a comment. We'd love to hear who you want to hear from next. Let us know.